Thank you for joining us. In today's session, we'd like to learn how to animate a sprite. As usual, we launch the Scratch application, maximize the window, and we're able to see our default sprite. Looking at the Code tab, we're able to see the different categories of blocks, from motion, looks, sound, all the way to my blocks, where you can create your block. Coming to the costumes tab, we're able to see the default look of our sprite. However, we can be able to change the fill color to a color of our choice, change the saturation, also change the brightness. Or you can also decide to use the eyedropper to choose a color of your choice from any of the parts of the sprite so that the different parts look the same. In addition, you can also enable or disable the outline colors. Just like the fill color, you can change the color, outline color. You can also change the saturation and brightness depending on the sections you've selected on our sprite. Additionally, you can also change the thickness of our outline. You can copy some sections. You can also delete. You can flip vertically or horizontally. This flexibility allows us to change the sprite to suit our needs. For example, we'll choose red color, reduce the brightness, and reduce the saturation of the head section. In addition, we have other options. We have reshape, we have erase, we also have text. We can be able to add some text. We can also add shapes like circle shape, rectangular shape, align. We can also apply some fill color or paint and draw our own sprite. An example is when you select this head section, when you click on reshape, you're able to see the different parts where you can move independently. You can decide to stretch the whiskers a little longer. Okay, select this one, make it a little longer. The eyes, you can make them narrower. It's possible to create our own sprite using these formatting tools. Now, to demonstrate the use of different costumes to animate, like you can see here, this sprite has two costumes showing different posture. Other sprites may have more costumes, others may only have one costume. Okay, so we'll erase this sprite, add a new sprite. We choose it from the existing sprites, and we can select a vary walking. And by going to the costume, you'll notice a vary has four costumes. Okay, and when you combine all this, you'll be able to animate a vary to walk from one end to the other. After having selected our sprite, the next thing is coding. How do we do it? So we'll initiate a motion movement. We like a vary to move 10 steps. For us to sustain this, we'll need a control block, this time forever, to do it indefinitely. We can see a vary is able to move from one end to the end indefinitely. But we don't want this to end there. We like a vary to change the direction and walk back. How do we do this? We use a different command that changes or senses the boundary. How do we do it? We go to motion block, scroll down, and we have the option if on the edge bounds. If on the edge bounds, so we'll select this and drag it inside the forever block. One thing you'll notice is that when a very reaches the edge of the stage, she bounces, changes direction. However, her posture appears that she is upside down, which is not right. To correct that, we'll need to set the rotation style. How do you do it? Again, we go to motion block, scroll all the way down, and we're able to see the option set the rotation style from left to right. Okay, so we'll drag this, bring it into our forever block. The options we have are don't rotate, all round. We can try and see. When you activate the program, the posture is upright. When set rotation style, left, right is active. What happens when you choose the option don't rotate? A vary will remain in one facing one direction. A vary will be facing one direction. What about the last option, all round? Left, right, upside down. Okay, so the best option for this case is left, right. So we're able to see a vary moving from the left edge to the right edge and bouncing back. That is motion. What about the animation of the sprite? We like to see a vary walking, and to achieve that, we have to use the different costumes. We have the first costume, the second, the third, and the fourth. So for every movement, we need to change from one costume to the next. How do we do this? We will go to the looks and check. Do we have the option? Yes, it is here. We have next costume option. So we'll drag this. After the movement, we add next costume. And now we're able to see for every 10 steps, a vary will change to a new costume and she'll appear to be walking from one end to another. She appears to be walking too fast. How can we delay this? So we can decide, maybe we delay for a few seconds. Wait for 1 second, bring it inside here. Second is too long. Okay, we can reduce it by half, 0.5. Still slow. We reduce it further to, let's say, 0.3. A vary appears to be walking from one end to another. So to make sure that when you click on the green flag, the program runs, we'll go to events block, category of blocks, and then bring in when the green flag is clicked. Now we can add our backdrop. Assuming a vary is walking maybe along the beach, we have beach Malibu. Okay, so a vary is walking along the beach. When she reaches one end, she changes direction and walks to the other end. Okay, so you can see it's possible for us to achieve this. Sometimes the sprite may be in different position. To be predictable and specify the location or the starting X and Y position, we will need to specify. How do we do it? We check motions block, and then we have this go to X, go to Y. At the moment, if you look at the controls down here, we're able to see X -54 and y5. We can do the same. So every time you initialize this program, we can have this at a negative, let's say 55 and +5. Okay, so when we move this here, it initializes the position of our sprite so that she's working at x -55 position and y 5 +5 position. Okay, and that's it. That's it. We can change this a little, increase x to, let's say, -100. What happens? Stop, start. Okay, increase it further, let's say to -140. Stop, and then start. Observe the position. Yes, that's it. You can have a very walking in different parts of the beach. So by specifying the X and Y positions, you can have the sprite complete activities at different positions on the stage. Save your work by going to File, Save to your computer, and you can give it a name like a very walk. Save. See you in the next session. Thank you.